Right, we're just here in Bacolod. And when you think of the food that comes here from Bacolod, you think of Piaya and you think of Inisal. But our first stop is going to be one of the most iconic places in Bacolod, and that's the ruins. It was sort of built on a huge sugar plantation. It is known as the Taj Mahal of this area. So let's go inside and get a bit of a history lesson.
My eyes, they look into your
Hi there, Roger.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the ruins.
Thank you.
Let me tell you about this place.
Okay.
This mansion was built in 1920, but in 1942, and that's an early part of World War II,
Yes.
when the USAP arrived here. Then they recruited locals and called themselves as guerrillas. Their instructions that time that involved burning all the structures that could possibly be used by the Japanese as their headquarters or garrison.
So they burned
Yes.
this whole place down.
It's a sad story because they burned the house. But it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
At least they have job right now.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
You know what? It took 3 days before the mansion was burned. Maybe one of the reasons it's because of the hardwoods.
So this house took 3 days to burn down.
Yes. Imagine their woods before, 2 inches thick. That's the picture of Don Mariano Ledesma Lacson and the wife, Maria Braga. Maria Braga was a Portuguese from Macau.
Right. Okay.
Yes, and they had 10 children. Don Mariano owned a 440-hectare sugarcane plantation here in Negros.
Oh, so he owned the sugar plantation?
Yes, but he partitioned it into his 10 children. And to be fair, by drawing of lots or by lottery only.
Oh, wow.
These properties went to Mercedes Lacson, but she married to Manuel Havillana from Haro, Iloilo. And they were blessed also with 12 children. The 44 hectares of Mercedes, she partitioned it also into her 12 children at the same way by lottery again. One of his sons who got an idea to develop the place, and that is Mr. Raymond Havillana. So,
Wow.
well, they call this place the Taj Mahal of Negros.
Right, okay.
Are you familiar with the story of Taj Mahal in India?
Yeah, I think he built it for his wife.
Yes, you're right. Same here. This is also built in memory of his wife.
Oh, so he built
Yes.
this for him in memory of his
Yeah,
wife.
he built this mansion after the death of his wife.
Oh, they told you to.
That's a very special room in this mansion, and they call that Belvedere.
Okay,
What is Belvedere? That's a Spanish word. It means it can afford a beautiful view. So that's the place where every 5:30 in the afternoon, they gather there together just to watch the sunset.
Wow.
And that's the place where Don Mariano stands and looked around and said, as far as my eyes can see, that's mine.
Wow.
So you are lucky before if you are far-sightedness.
Yeah.
So here, and that fountain is still original.
That's the original fountain.
Yeah. Do you see the structure outside?
Yes.
Do you know what is that?
No.
That is the chimney.
Okay.
Chimney of their Muscovado sugar mill.
Oh, really?
Yes, or they made their own Muscovado sugar during that time manually. Carabao is the one who turned around there to extract the juice from the sugar cane.
Yeah.
Then they put it in a large vat. They cook it until it becomes Muscovado sugar.
Muscovado.
Yeah, so that's the source of income of family Lacson before.
Just say no.
Okay, we're just here with Tita at Bob's restaurant. Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
I've heard a lot about your restaurant. Tell me a little bit about it. It's been here since 1965,
65.
and you were one of the founders.
Yes, yes.
So, explain to me how it all started. How did this restaurant, how did the concept of the restaurant start?
Well, it was a very small diner.
Yeah.
When we started, it was a one-story building and very small. And of course, we just came back from the States because my husband was a pediatrician. He was training there for 3 years. And we were influenced by these diners there in the States,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then that's how it started. And then we put up a small place.
And then I read somewhere that this restaurant started as a drive-in.
Also, yes, because that was the 1960s, that was the drive-in period
That was-
in the States.
The big time of the drive-in movies.
Yes, and we did that. And then They hang these trays and the cars outside.
Outside on the window.
Yes, we all had that.
This place has been here for almost 48 years.
That's right.
And it's a Tuesday, and your restaurant downstairs is full. I mean, that is unbelievable. Most of the recipes here on the menu
Yes.
is your recipes and your mother's recipes.
Yes, right.
Have you changed any of the recipes, or are they still
The children,
original?
Cynthia, when she came in, because she's taking over,
Yeah.
she introduced many recipes. And now it's her own son, Mark. He studied at Enderan in Manila.
Enderan, yeah.
And also introduced new dishes.
New dishes.
So it's keeping up, evolving, and keeping up to the date.
I mean, that's a fantastic
To the time.
story. Unbelievable. So you've cooked us some dishes that is staple here
Yes.
in your restaurant. So what do we have here?
So this is pancit molo. This is a typical Ilonggo dish.
Okay.
It's found both in Iloilo and here in Negros.
Right.
Because the original people here came from Iloilo.
Right. Okay.
Yes, so that's right. And then it's made of noodle,
Wow.
pasta, and it has ground pork inside.
Ground pork. That is really
Chick-
tasty.
Yes, did you try it?
Very
Try,
nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Of course, chicken and you saute it with garlic and onions, and then drop in when you have the soup already, you just drop these balls.
Wow.
That's how it goes.
This has got so much flavor.
Now this is the fruit punch. So it has watermelon
Yeah.
and all this
Thank you. Thank you, boss.
pineapple
So that's watermelon, pineapple.
with coconut meat, and the coconut heart of the palm.
Oh, it's a ton of.
These small things here. That's the heart of the palm.
Is this your recipe?
My mama's.
This is your mother's recipe. Wow. That's a really nice color. It's nice and
yeah.
bright red.
Yes, it has strawberry, of course.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is probably one of the best fruit punches I've ever tasted.
Thank you.
That
And
is really.
no liquor or anything.
Yeah.
So this is our satay babi.
Right, okay.
And when we opened, we started serving this. This was an original. And our top seller now, ever since.
So this has been on the menu for 48 years.
48 years,
Wow.
Right. This is squid.
All right, let's try this.
Yeah, try it.
Is this an original recipe?
Also.
Wow. It's really not. Wow.
You like it?
That is really good. Another recipe that's been on here for 48 years since the start. And exactly the same as all of these other recipes. Everything is really, really tasty. So I don't see why they would change any of these recipes. It's really nice and vinegary. Your squid's cooked perfectly. I mean, what a phenomenal dish. Unbelievable. So how many restaurants do you have? Bob's.
We have 3. 4, including the one at Ayala. Ayala, that was the recent one.
And they're all exactly the same concept, or?
Yes, exactly the same. And of course, Cynthia has her own Bob's Cafe. And we're always together because we complement each other.
Right,
They
yeah, of course.
serve breads, which we need,
Right.
and pastries.
So they
sweets.
all sort of help each other.
Yes, so we're always together.
And why is it called Bob?
My youngest son, who was here earlier, he's called Bob, he's Roberto. And maybe it was an influence also from our states. There was
Okay.
a restaurant there that was called Bob's. But later on we noticed they were no longer there.
But you're still here.
Yeah.
So a delicacy here in Bacolod is Piaya, right? Which is a dish that I had about 10 minutes ago. I've never had it before, and I really, really fell in love with it, right? And I'm gonna show you how to make it. So first, we've got the muscovado sugar over here that's sort of been mixed with a little bit of water, and then you stir it until all the sugars dissolve. You add a bit of flour to it, and then you sort of get like a pastry consistency. Then, like the flaky pastry that goes on the outside, we make it with flour, lard, and a little bit of warm water, and you sort of mix it until it comes to this consistency. Then it goes into a bowl and it goes into the ref for like 20 to 30 minutes, and you just relax everything. It then comes out, it then gets weighed and rolled into this shape, and now I'm gonna show you how to make it. Okay, so these are like 30-gram balls over here. So that just gets pushed down. You take a little bit of that, maybe a little bit more. Okay, that then goes in the middle, and then you just sort of fold everything around until it sort of comes together like that. And then from there, you just push it down with your hand. Then in here we have a mixture of flour and sesame seeds. That then just gets dunked in there. Then gets put with flour, and then it just gets rolled out like so. And try and roll it like into 3 different directions so that you sort of get really nice and round shape to it. Okay? So something like that. And there you can then see all of the pastry, and then inside enclosed is all of the muscovado sugar. Okay, so now that we've rolled them all out and they're really nice and round, and there's loads of muscovado sugar in there, it's now time to fry them. Right, so we just have a griddle here on a medium-high heat. We're just gonna drop them down, and this is gonna take about 10 minutes of us just sort of frying them, turning them every now and then. And as they cook, the pastry is sort of gonna become really nice and flaky on the outside. The sugar's gonna melt. We're gonna leave it to cool just a little bit, and then it's done. These are done. You can see they're really sort of nice and golden brown. Sort of break that open, you can hear the crackling of that really short pastry, and then the oozing muscovado sugar in there. Like, this is a little piece of heaven right here. Wow. I mean, there's a nice cup of coffee, or just with a knob of butter on top. I mean, this is still warm. You can see how it's oozing out there. I mean, this is fresh off the griddle, right? You don't get any fresher than this. To have this here is fantastic. Okay, so another delicacy here in Bacolod is kensi, which just sort of incorporates 2 of my favorite dishes in the Philippines into one. So it's sort of a mix between bulalo and sinigang. Really sort of rainy weather food, in my opinion. And as you can see, it's raining, so it's perfect. Wow. That's really, really good. You can sort of taste bulalo and you can taste sinigang. It's a little bit spicy, and actually, you know what? That bone marrow over there is looking at me, right? So this is one of my favorite things, is bone marrow. And the bone marrow is what gives it all of the flavor. Flavor to the soup. Try some of the beef. Okay, so basically, this is made from beef shin bones. And the reason you use shin bones is because it has a a lot of marrow in it. You can see that sort of beef is then boiled and the marrow then softens and that releases a lot of flavor into the sauce. Then the souring agent here in Bacolod they use is but1, and then it's sort of cooked like 3 or 4 hours until the beef is really, really soft. I then put vegetables in, and then the red tinge on the top is a schwerte. So really nice and sour. The beef is really, really tender from 3 hours of cooking, and it just tastes beautiful on a rainy day. Now that I'm pretty much done here, I have a couple of hours of downtime. So we'll walk around the hotel here, El Fisher in Bacolod. Then we're gonna go out, find real Bacolod Inisal, which is something I'm really, really excited about because it's something I love to eat, and to sort of taste it here, where it comes from, is something very, very special. So I've got a couple of bites here, and then we'll head out.
After tasting that delicious kansi at the El Fisher Hotel in the heart of Bacolod, I just had enough time to grab a shower and head out to taste that long-awaited Inisal.
Okay, so this is Manokan country. This is where Chicken Inisal all started. You can see down here it's all just strips of Inisal restaurants. So let's go and taste Inisal in the birthplace and where it all came from. Okay, so this is eating Inisal in the home of Inisal. That's really good. It's really tender on the inside. A little crispy on the outside because of the barbecue. And always when you cook chicken on the bone, it keeps it really, really nice and moist. And that's exactly what it is inside. Jam-packed full of flavor. I've never tasted Inisal like this before. This is really good. Right, that was delicious, right? Now I'm gonna go out and see how it's made, the actual recipe. See what makes this chicken so delicious. All right, we're just here in Chicken House, right? This is one of the most famous Inisal places in Bacolod, right? They're gonna show us how they marinate everything, how they cook everything, how this all works, right? And over there, that's where all the barbecue magic happens, right? So let's go have a look. Okay, so that's the chicken that's been marinating. It's marinated in calamansi, ginger, garlic, white pepper, and salt. It's marinated for about 24 hours, which gets done like very, very early in the morning. So these are the ones that's been marinated already. You can see here like all of the legs that have been sort of ready for barbecuing. You can still see little bits of ginger, you can see little bits of garlic on there. So this then gets barbecued until it's really crispy on the outside. They then get a knife and they sort of score it along the bone. And what that does is it helps to speed up the cooking process. Because if you barbecue raw chicken, the heat is extreme from the bottom, which means the chicken's gonna burn on the outside, but it'll still be raw in the middle. So that's why they sort of make those cuts, just to help it to cook evenly. Okay, so once chicken's like sort of barbecued and it's really cooked all the way through, it's really crispy on the outside, juicy in the middle, they then take the schwerte oil. And this is what gives the Inisal like its color. I always thought the schwerte oil was part of the marinade, but it's actually just a finish to go on top. And you can see there, as soon as I brush it, how sort of bright orange it goes. Okay, that's now glazed really, really nicely. Loads and loads of flavor. This is now ready to serve.
Next time on Market to Master.
Next time on Market to Master, we head over to Iloilo to taste the original La Paz Bachoy, and I actually learned how to make pancit molo.